Namaste. My name is Priti Gune and I'm from Melbourne, the cultural capital of Australia. To begin with, I hope you all are doing good and staying safe during these challenging times. It has been an honor for me to get associated with Vishwarang 2020, a Tagore International Literature and Art Festival, and I would like to thank Rekha Rajvanshi for giving me this opportunity to be a part of this esteemed show and to share the virtual podium with the stalwarts of art and literature field. About me, I am a human resource professional and a self-taught artist. I started painting as a hobby. It was more like a summer holiday activity for me that time. But my father kept nurturing and fueling the artistic side in me. I never realized how far I could go in this field until I migrated to Australia 4 years ago. And here is where I got affiliated to Indian Australian artists, where I met passionate and excellent artists who encouraged and motivated me to pursue my passion for colors. IAA not only provided me with a platform to exhibit my art, but also it instilled a sense of confidence in me to carry out my own art shows, which I did last year along with my artist friend Anudeepa Kadiresan, and it was well received by the audience. Currently, I am the director of IAA, that is Indian Australian Artists Incorporation, which is a not-for-profit community arts organization. It was established in 2017 and currently we have more than 20 active members and it is still growing. The objective of IAA is to promote art and culture and to provide a platform to all the hobby as well as professional artists to exhibit their artworks and to upscale their skills. It is open for all the Australian residents, all the artists who are Australian residents from all nationalities, background and gender. Till now we have organized successfully 8 art exhibitions across Melbourne. As an artist, I like to experiment with different mediums. In the beginning I was more inclined towards oil painting, but over a period of time it changed as I started exploring the exciting world of acrylic pour paint. So now let me show you some of my favorite artworks. So the very first painting which I want to show you is one of my favorite, Blooming. Here the medium which I have used is acrylic and I have used the pour and blow technique to get this beautiful blossoming effect. The vibrant colors of spring and the butterflies are bound to elevate your mood. Don't you agree? This artwork is my latest creation. The medium used here is acrylic and I have experimented with sand and jute ropes to get the texture and the depth effect. An unflustered and calm soul is what you need to get through these turbulent times. I believe this artwork captures the current situation to the T. Australia is known as surfer's paradise, and in this painting, The Riding Waves, I have tried capturing one such beautiful moment which I have experienced while traveling to Australia. The fun part of this painting was to create this little miniature surfer on the board. Now this is again one of my favorite artworks in the acrylic pour series. In this I have used the swipe technique to get this golden shimmery chandelier effect. Once the base was ready, it was a task for me to imagine what it depicts, and then it resulted in this beauty. The next painting which I am showing you is Captivated, and I am sure the name itself explains the essence of it. The medium used is oil. This This one is very close to my heart and I consider this as one of my best artworks till date. This is a recreation of an image, and what is special about it is the emotions which are captured. I love the vibrance of the colors and the elegance it reflects.
Vanakkam, Namaste, I'm Anudeepa Kadiresan from Melbourne. I'm honored to be part of Vishwarang 2020 Tagore Literature and Arts program. This is Lakshmi. I have painted for my housewarming. You can see how Lakshmi is entering inside the house. This painting is done on canvas with oil colors. I'm doing various forms of arts, oil, watercolor, aluminium work, mixed media, and I'm specialized in traditional Tanjore art. Tanjore painting is a 16th century art form. I follow traditional Tanjore painting methods from preparing the board to the usage of gold foil. These are the steps in Tanjore painting. This is how we prepare the board. We transfer the image first. Prepare the board and transfer the image. Next, use gemstones and bring three-dimensional effect with the gesso work. The next step is the coloring and the gold foil method. And the final stage is finishing the work with natural colors. This painting is so close to my heart. With green as a base color and agriculture as a theme, I have shown goddess standing in the middle of the paddy field. She is carrying a pot full of grains, overflowing grains, which shows the richness of the land. I come from southern part of India to show the nativeness in the. I have shown emerald dove, sendandal flower, palm tree, which are heavily explained in Sangam Tamil literature. She is the brave queen, Velunachiyar. I have painted her with digital medium. I want to show how women are so brave to fight against British. I have given her some lot of weapons and how majestic she carries herself. I painted her for International Women's Day in Melbourne. Yal. It's a traditional musical instrument dated back to 300 BC. It's a dying instrument which you can see only in the museums. The yal is referred heavily in ancient Tamil Sangam literature. It's Sri Chakra in oil. Sri Chakra is a three-dimensional chakra. It is shown in two-dimensional view, also called as Mehu. Each of these layers are used to rise 7 chakras in human body through meditation. Sri Chakra is believed to spread positive vibration around it, so it is used for mental well-being and spiritual awakening in yoga sessions. Kali, Nisamba Sudani, I have painted her with digital work.
Anudeepa Kadiresan அப்படிங்கிறவங்க டிராவிடியன் ஆர்ட்ஸ் மெல்பர்ன் உங்களுக்காக அவங்களுடைய ஆர்ட்ஸ் ஒர்க்ஸை கிஃப்டா கொண்டு வந்திருக்காங்க. அதை பார்ப்போமா?
பாரதியார் எனக்கு ரொம்ப இஷ்டம். நான் வரைஞ்சு பாரதியையும் அஷ்டபுஜ காளி கொற்றவைன்னு சொல்லலாம். இவங்க ரெண்டு பேர்த்தையும் உங்களுக்கு அன்பளிப்பா அளிச்சு வரவேற்கிறதுல சந்தோஷம்.
ரொம்ப அழகா இருக்குங்க, ரொம்ப அழகா இருக்கு.
Exhibited my artworks in various galleries around Melbourne. This year I have represented Tamil culture through art form in Parliament of Victoria, Melbourne. Under the theme Art for Well-being, I am conducting classes for women and children. Thanks Vishwarang 2020 Tagore International Literature and Arts Festival for giving me this wonderful opportunity.
Hello there. I'm Avijit Sarkar, a writer, a poet, artist, cartoonist, and a musician from Sydney, Australia. Today I am going to talk to you about my art. I started painting and drawing at a very early age, maybe when I was 3 years old. And my mother used to say, she used to boast about this, that my son started drawing and painting even before he could talk. So you might say that the skill that I have is more or less a thing by birth. It's an inborn ability. I do not really have any proper formal qualifications in art. I did complete my elementary and intermediate examinations when in my school days, years ago. After that, of course, I haven't done any formal course in art of any kind. Over the years, I have done a lot of painting and art with traditional media, like this one, oil, acrylic, mixed media, watercolor. I particularly like acrylic because it's quick for me. And I also love watercolor because it gives me the opportunity to experiment with various things. But beyond traditional art, I have migrated recently to more of or a variety or a style of art that tells a story. I'm not a very big fan of abstract art, and of late most of my works I design them so that every piece of art or drawing, painting has a story to tell. This is very much like the stories that I write. Every art I decided must tell a story, a personal story, a social story, a story of any kind. In the 80s, early 80s, I started my study of well-known illustrators and cartoonists from India, the likes of R.K. Lakshman and Mario Miranda. And I started illustrating and cartooning from that time onwards. I'm not much of a political cartoonist. I'm more of a social cartoonist. And I took to this particular art or particular style because I realized that cartooning or even illustrations, social illustrations, takes you beyond art in the traditional form. It makes you observe, it makes you think, and then you put down your thoughts about the characters, about a scene, with a touch of cynical humor on paper. And I loved it from the very first day. Today I have done countless, hundreds and hundreds of cartoons and illustrations, characters, scenarios, but not much of political stuff. It's mostly social, all social in fact. Characters are everywhere. So for drawing cartoons or caricatures, I don't need to look for a subject. I just need to look around and I see them all. Because there is an element of humor in each behavioral aspect in society. And the other fact is that you can always pick up humor from the most serious situations. And hence, cartooning is very, very close to my heart. I love doing cartoons. These days I do more of the cartoon stuff than the serious subject matters like this. Of late, I've shifted my attention to more of watercolors, trying to do architectural watercolors. That suits me, suits my mood. Quite happy doing that. Other than that, I indulge in a lot of illustrations for books that other authors have written. So I've illustrated many, many books for writers, poets across the world, India, the US, Canada, Australia. And I love doing that because it fires up my imagination. The way I do it, and I'm sure other illustrators do the same thing, is that I create my characters based on the descriptions produced by the author or the poet. And that is a great challenge for me because I need to really fire up my imagination in order to create the characters that the author or the poet thought about or dreamed of. And it does provide a platform for me to let my imagination run wild, if you want. I've been very lucky to have worked with well-known authors and poets, and I've illustrated many of their works. Currently working with a few very, very good writers, doing some illustrations and book covers and stuff like that. But still, art is something that is extremely close to my heart. Look, I do a lot of music, a lot of writing. I write poetry and prose and fiction and non-fiction. I compose music, I sing. But recently a question was asked of me that in my final days of my life, how do I want to end my creativity, my paths of creativity? And my answer is that I would definitely like to end it as an artist, as an illustrator, because that's something that's very close to my heart, will always remain very close to my heart. Thank you for listening to my story about my art and my creative avenues. Thank you.
Deva My name is Mittu Gopalan from Sydney. I'm honoured to be part of Vishwarang International Film and Arts Festival. This is one of my favourite paintings, and as most of you would know, this is a replica of a very famous painting done by Raja Ravi Verma. The most catchy bit about this painting is the inquisitiveness that you actually find in the eyes of this lady, which captured me and which encouraged me to do this. I love this painting, and I love the green in it, I love the colours that all come together, and I'm honoured that I was actually able to replicate to some extent. I'll take you through a few of my other paintings. This is another of my very favourite paintings that I thoroughly enjoyed whilst I was doing it. The medium is acrylic, and as is evident, it replicates Lord Buddha in his sleeping position. And I always get the peaceful, tranquil feeling whenever I look at this painting. It gives me satisfaction, it gives me much happiness, and I'm so happy that we've actually put this in our area of the home, and I always feel that it brings a lot of peace, happiness and tranquility. This is another painting of the orchids that I've tried to do in an emperor's ways. The medium is acrylic, and obviously I've tried to highlight that with a frame that actually contrasts the painting and brings out the depth of the same. This is another favourite painting of mine, which replicates Australian native flower, the gumnuts. It's simple, it's beautiful, and the medium is acrylic, and yeah, as you can see, very little colours used, but it actually conveys a lot. This is a painting that I did for the Diwali art exhibition that was conducted in Sydney. The medium is acrylic, and I really loved using bright, fun colours to replicate the festivities. As is evident, the flowers and the lamps, the lights are actually embossed, and it actually highlights what I wanted to bring out in this painting. And I really loved doing it. People loved it. I received a lot of praise for that, and as an artist, that actually means a lot. This is in relation to a painting that I did when I finished year 12, and I did it in oils, and it was actually replicating a lot of emotions that a lady or a woman was going through in her life. And I love it how sometimes you just need to use just two colours. That's all what this painting is about. Two colours mainly. Obviously there's white and black for the eyes, but predominantly I've just used two colours in this painting, and how it can yet portray a lot, and the message is conveyed. This is one of my favourite paintings, and I will always treasure this. Painting has been my favourite hobby since childhood, and I've been blessed to continue it through my adulthood days. In relation to the mediums that I use, it varies from watercolour to acrylic to oil or to sketching. With regards to my favourite medium, I would say it's acrylic. I love flowers, and when I came over to Australia, I was mesmerised by the beauty of the flower called iris, and hence I decided to do a painting filled with iris flowers. And I did this in watercolours. I don't know whether you can actually see the intricate work that I've actually done in water with fine brushes, and this is one of my all-time favourites too, because it brings in peace, calm and tranquility every time I look at them. After I visited Rajasthan in India, I wanted to capture a moment that I personally witnessed in Rajasthan. So this was it, and I love their flute player, and I love their attire, which is typical of a Rajasthani state, and this was me trying to replicate and bring Rajasthan to our home in Sydney.
കോടതി മുറിക്കുള്ളിലെ കറുപ്പിനും വെളുപ്പിനുമൊപ്പം ക്യാൻവാസുകളിലെ നിറക്കൂട്ടുകളിലൂടെയും ഒരു യാത്ര. ആ യാത്രയുടെ സാക്ഷാത്കാരമായിരുന്നു മിട്ടു ഗോപാലന്റെ ചിത്രപ്രദർശനം. സിഡ്നിയിൽ സോളിസിറ്ററായ മിട്ടു ഗോപാലൻ വരച്ച 80 ചിത്രങ്ങളായിരുന്നു പ്രദർശനത്തിന് ഉണ്ടായിരുന്നത്. കേരളത്തിലെ മുൻ അഡ്വക്കേറ്റ് ജനറൽ KP ദണ്ഡപാണിയുടെ മകളായ മിട്ടു ഗോപാലൻ കുട്ടിക്കാലം മുതൽ വരച്ചു തുടങ്ങിയ ചിത്രങ്ങളായിരുന്നു ഈ പ്രദർശനത്തിൽ.
ജീവിതത്തിലുള്ളൊരു ആഗ്രഹമായിരുന്നു ഒരു എക്സിബിഷൻ ചെയ്യണം എന്നുള്ളത്. അത് ഇപ്പോഴെങ്കിലും ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റിയതിൽ ഞാൻ ദൈവത്തിനോട് നന്ദി പറയുന്നു. സോ ഓൾവേസ് വാസ് ഓൺ മൈ ബക്കറ്റ് ലിസ്റ്റ്. 80ഓളം എക്സിബിറ്റ്സ് ഉണ്ട്, which sort of ranges in the childhood days തൊട്ടിട്ട് adulthood വരെയുള്ള paintings.
ഏതൊക്കെ മീഡിയമാണ് ഉപയോഗിച്ചിരിക്കുന്നത്?
Oil, acrylic, I've got resin and also watercolor. ഞാൻ ചെറുപ്പത്തിലേ തുടങ്ങി പെയിൻറ്റ് ചെയ്യുന്നു. സോ അച്ഛനും അമ്മയും എന്നെ ക്ലാസ്സിന് വിടുമായിരുന്നു. നാട്ടിലാകുമ്പോൾ പല ക്ലാസ്സസ് ഉണ്ടാവുമല്ലോ. സോ അവിടെ ക്ലാസ്സസിൽ പോയി, പിന്നെ സ്കൂളിലും ഇൻറ്റർ സ്കൂൾ കോമ്പറ്റീഷൻസ്, യൂണിവേഴ്സിറ്റി കോമ്പറ്റീഷൻസ്, ആൻഡ് ദെൻ ഇവിടെ വന്ന് കല്യാണം കഴിഞ്ഞ് ഓസ്ട്രേലിയയിൽ വന്നപ്പോൾ I also continue to do community classes ചെയ്ത് പോയിരുന്നു. And then I've just done it as my passion. So it's continued.
ചിത്രങ്ങളിലെ മനം മയക്കുന്ന നിറക്കൂട്ടുകൾ തന്നെയാണ് ഇവിടെ എത്തിയ ഓരോരുത്തരെയും ഭ്രമിപ്പിച്ചതും.
Love them. Think they're absolutely amazing. We love colours. Well, I love things that are really, really colourful and bright and a little bit in your face. And this is all just so bright and colourful and just so vibrant, I think is the word. So really, really enjoying that. It's very personal, right? So what she's called her paintings is not always what it is, it's how she perceives it.
Namaste. I am Sanjeev Menon from Sydney. I thank you very much for this opportunity to be part of this online exhibition event. Let me confess at the very beginning that I am not an art expert or a professional artist, but I am a mere student in my own journey in the world of colors, trying to learn from the works of others and trying to uplift my own skill sets. By profession, I'm in IT and I'm into technology risk assurance domain. I hail from Tripunithura, which is in Kochi in Kerala. Now Tripunithura used to be the seat of art and culture during the times of the Cochin royal family. You probably already have heard about the great artist Raja Ravi Varma from the Travancore royal family. Now Cochin royal family was also great patrons of art and culture. So which is why we have a big academy in Tripunithura. I remember I was always interested in art and painting. I recall one evening in my early teens, there was this exhibition that was conducted by the Academy, and it was the show of works by the students and the professors of the Academy. So I cycled all my way to this exhibition and went around and take a look at all the exhibits there. And there was this painting in the middle, which was a portrait of Jawaharlal Nehru in black and white. I was so impressed by that painting that I at once took a note of who the artist was, and then I figured out like where he lived, and he was a retired professor of that academy who lived around there. So I knock on the door of this professor, this retired professor, and I expressed my desire to be his student. Now he had retired, and so he was no more into teaching. So this old professor, he did spend some time conversing with me, and I still remember till date what he advised me. His advice to me was that the most important attribute an artist must have is the ability to observe something very intently. That the more you are able to observe an object, the more higher the chances of you being able to reproduce in your work. The next one is a painting of a traditional art form in Kerala. It's called Theyyam. It's an art form from the northern part of Kerala. Now, this is a painting that took me ages. It took me so much time because there was so much of details that had to go into it. These days I am more into oil painting, and particularly portraits. Now I like portraits because they're more challenging, because you have to be able to get the resemblance accurately. I've done a few portraits, mainly of singers. Now this particular portrait that I had done of K.J. Yeshudas, I remember lugging it around to wherever shows would be held around me, and I would be waiting there behind the stage for him to step out so that I could get his autograph on the same portrait. The most recent portrait that I had done was one of S.P. Balasubramaniam, who passed away very recently. Let's take a look at that. The next two paintings are portraits of my father and mother. I believe the greatest creator of art is the God himself, because no one can ever match the beauty of his creations. Now you look at a sunset or a sunrise, and then you take a photo of it or you do a painting of it, it never matches the original beauty. And so as an artist, we only can try to reach excellence, but we cannot attain excellence. Talking about caricatures, I remember this incident that happened long ago while I was working in Bombay. it was lunchtime and I had stepped out for a walk, and there was this exhibition next door conducted by Hindustan Times of all their published cartoons. So I go in there and look at all the cartoons, and I'm enjoying them, and I'd look at a crowd collected around a table out there. So I go towards the table and find that a staff cartoonist is actually doing caricatures of the people in front of him. So while watching him with fascination, I broke into a conversation with him, and I told him that, perhaps you could be a good subject for a caricature. So he looks at me and he says, "Are you a caricaturist?" I said, "No, I just do it as a hobby." Then he pushes a pen and paper to me and says, "Come on, do it." So while he's doing the caricature, I am doing the caricature of him there. So it's so easy to draw a Sardarji. You do the pagadi and then the dadi, and he's done. So people were impressed. It looked like him, luckily. And then I soon see another formation of a line in front of me with the request to do their caricatures. But then I had to head back because it was lunchtime. I had to go back to work. I believe any form of art is a form of meditation. It relaxes you, it calms you down, it disconnects you from the harsh realities of the external world that's out there. I enjoy my moments of painting, and I try to do at least 2 hours of painting every week. These days, I try to find time to do workshops and study sessions for students and youngsters who are willing to benefit from whatever little I have to offer them. And I find this strange sense of fulfillment when I pass down these little techniques that I have amassed during my journey in the world of colors. Finally, let me conclude by thanking each one of you for showing the patience in listening to me and for allowing me to showcase my works to you. I also thank the organizers of this great online exhibition event, which is the best thing to encourage all artists across the world during the current testing times of the pandemic situation. I wish you all health, happiness, and please do stay safe. I thank you once again from the bottom of my heart. Namaste.